watching East Tennessee weather. Weather when you want it.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. It is Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Can you believe that we are almost to Thanksgiving Day? However, I say that this morning, but my entire family celebrated Thanksgiving Day yesterday. So we had all the fixings, the turkey, the cranberries, and all those things yesterday. So if you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, maybe you're getting the turkeys ready. Today's going to be a good day to be in the kitchen, to be cooking, because it's going to be overcast and gray. But if you have to head off to work here this morning, another damp and dreary start to the day. So we sure hope you have a wonderful and safe day here this morning. Let's take you back outside and show you what it looks like across parts of Hardin Valley here to get the day started. So good morning, Hardin Valley and Carnes and anywhere around the Hardin Valley area. How about West Knoxville? Anybody joining us from West Knoxville this morning? That's a view from the East Tennessee weather camera to the marinas here around town, and a quiet, cloudy, and mild start to the day. Another marina here around West Knoxville. Nice quiet conditions. Again, damp conditions to get the day started. Maryville, Friendsville, Townsend, Wares Valley, anybody across the mountain counties. We're going to be socked in with those low gray clouds for much of the day today. Overcast gray, some fog, some mist, some drizzle. That's going to be the story for the park here. You can see that from Sevierville. The Smoky Mountain National Park is socked in here to get the day started. Anywhere from the Smoky Mountains all the way to Strawberry Plains and anywhere in between, overcast gray, a little bit of a breeze out there to get the day started. And in places like Union County this morning, an overcast gray, but again, it looks like the roads have dried up a little bit from what we saw yesterday, which is great news to pass along here to get the day started. So we sure hope you have a wonderful and safe day today, everybody. Anybody going to be traveling today? Are we traveling today, or are we waiting until tomorrow to travel to our destinations? Are you staying here locally, or are you going somewhere? Let me know in the chat, and we'll give you a big shout out here this morning. We'll talk about everybody's Thanksgiving. One thing I wanted to ask you, what is your most favorite dish for Thanksgiving dinner? What's your most favorite dish? I will tell you mine. Mine is actually the sweet potatoes. But I do it my grandma style. Now, my wife did the sweet potatoes this year. In years past, I've always done them, and I've always done my grandma's recipe. But my wife whipped them up. We had brown sugar and cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves in there. It was topped with brown sugar and butter, of course. And then on top of that, you bake it with some marshmallows on top. Now, my grandma's recipe, she throws a little bit of bourbon in there. It cooks off, but it tastes amazing. So if you're a bourbon drinker and you like bourbon, just throw a little bit in your sweet potato casserole and let it bake, and it is phenomenal for sure. All right, anybody going to be traveling? Let me know where you're traveling. Let me know what your favorite dishes are. We'll give you a big shout out here in just a moment. If you're trying to get off to work here this morning, let's go ahead and get to work with the forecast. We start off with 24-hour rainfall accumulation here. And how about that? Some nice and much needed rain across East Tennessee. Many of us picked up over an inch of rain over the last 24 hours. Some of us picked up over 2 inches of rain. So some wet roads out there. We had quite a bit of a breeze. The leaves were blowing around as well. So if your roads are wet around the area, make sure you just kind of give yourself a little extra time here this morning. Satellite and radar, the thickest clouds are and the highest clouds are over into the mountains of East Tennessee, North Carolina. But we have some low gray clouds around town. So when you look at our visibility, low clouds down to the ground. So some fog, some mist here to get the day started. And that's everywhere around East Tennessee. So if you're traveling here locally today, you're going to run into the fog and the mist and the drizzle. Kind of a damp and dreary start to the day. If you're traveling regionally, well, you're going to have to get out of the soup here this morning before you start to see improving conditions. If you're going further west, you'll see improving conditions sooner. If you're heading east, maybe into the Carolinas or Virginia, down into Georgia, you'll be chasing the cold front. And so you'll actually hang on to those a little bit more mist and overcast gray skies for just a little bit longer. Temperatures this morning as we step outside, not too terribly bad actually. Some 30s across the central northern plateau from Crossville to Jamestown. Anybody along Highway 127, anybody along 27, we've got temperatures in the 40s from Scott County to Morgan and to Roane County. And we're in the mid to upper 40s with a couple of pockets of 50s currently across the Southern Valley. But that is colder this morning by about 5 to nearly 10 degrees from what we saw yesterday. But the story for the day today is the air is going to slowly but surely dry out. And that's going to do a couple of things. As dew point numbers are currently in the 40s, they're going to drop down into the 30s over the next 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours. And so as that dry air creeps on in, that eventually will break up the clouds. And so we should see, well, maybe a little bit of sunshine by the end of the day across the northern plateau. So here's your future cast. It's not going to pick up on the mist and the drizzle, but can't rule out maybe a quick little shower here or there. Model forecast picking that up around the lunch hour. We will likely squeeze out some, it's going to be more drizzly, if not dreary and damp across the national park, even in the lower elevations. As the air pushes up against the mountains, it lifts, and that's where we get that light rain and whatnot. But other than that, it looks like after about 3 to 5 o'clock today, we'll start to see some gradual clearing from northwest to southeast. So like I said, if you're traveling north on 75, west on Interstate 40, south on 75, you're likely to see sunshine earlier on than, say, if you're going to be traveling off to our east. That's where the clouds are going to be hanging out for the better part of the day. Now, our forecast rainfall accumulation, the only reason I wanted to show you that this morning is it proves my point that we're going to see drizzle and mist. It's just picking up on that very light precipitation. No really accumulating rain here today. Not like what we saw yesterday, but wasn't it so nice to hear the pitter patter of the rain? It was a good solid downpour at a couple times during the day. Now, forecast high temperatures. You'll need the jackets. We're not going to warm up much. Actually, as cooler, drier air settles on in, we're going to be battling that daytime heating. Even though we don't have sunshine, we still heat up during the day, right? Because the sun's coming up. Even though we may not see much of the sunshine today, it's not going to allow our temperatures to warm up. That's kind of like yesterday. Our official highs yesterday were in the mid 60s. But yesterday afternoon, we stayed in the low, mid, and even upper 50s. So it stayed on the chilly side. And then, of course, the rain and the wind didn't help the feel to the temperatures yesterday. If you have evening plans, again, those overcast gray skies will gradually break up between 5 and 9 o'clock. Temperatures stay steady, though, into the mid 40s. Waking up early on Thanksgiving Day. Oh, my mouth is watering. I think I need to do another round of Thanksgiving. All right, forecast lows Thanksgiving morning. Yeah, it's going to be cold. We'll likely have quite a bit of frost out there early in the morning. We're also looking at the possibility of just a little bit of fog, maybe some steam fog along the rivers and lakes due to the colder air mass in place. So if you live along the lakes or the rivers, you're likely to see a little bit more steam fog or just fog in general to get the day started. But a beautiful Thanksgiving day ahead of us. That, my friends, we can be thankful for. By noon, we're at 49, depending on what time of the day you eat your dinner or supper. We used to, as kids, eat around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then, of course, you'd have a turkey sandwich for supper or dinner, depending on what part of the country you're from. Either way, Thanksgiving Day is going to be a great day to get out for a nice little walk after dinner. We're going to see those temps climb into the mid-50s. So when you look at forecast highs on Thanksgiving Day, mid to upper 50s. So that's pretty nice, pretty close to those seasonal average, a couple of degrees below average. And your 3-day forecast for our Black Friday. Any shoppers out there? Anybody going to hit the sales on Friday? Do we do what we used to do and line up at the stores anymore? I don't think we do, really. 58 on Friday, 60 degrees on Saturday, so it looks like it's going to be a picture-perfect weekend ahead. So I asked a couple questions. We'll go to that regional travel forecast here in just a moment. But I asked a couple questions here this morning, so what are your answers? Let's go to the chat and see what everyone is saying here this morning. Well, we sure hope you have a great morning and a great Thanksgiving day. Let's see. Good morning, Jennifer. Let's see. Anybody? Let's see. Definitely thankful for the rain yesterday. Many of you saw that and joined me on social media yesterday. Dressing. Christy says dressing. Now, do you call it dressing or is it stuffing? Dressing or stuffing? I think it goes back to the old thing is we do dressing as well because back in what? 90s, 2000s, what was it? They were like, okay, now don't stuff your turkey with your dressing because of what? Salmonella, or it just doesn't get cooked all the way, or it doesn't cook the inside of the turkey all the way. But dressing is one of my favorites as well. But really, to be honest with you, I like casseroles. I mean, I don't like green bean casserole, but I like casseroles in general. So when I eat my Thanksgiving dinner, I actually mix everything together. So I take a little bit of sweet potatoes, I take a little bit of potatoes and some turkey and some dressing, and eat it all with the same bite. It's kind of like a sandwich. You know, there's nothing worse with a sandwich when you have a little bit of a sandwich that's not mixed with the other parts of the sandwich. Do you get what I'm talking about? Or when you go and get those bowls and they don't mix them up ahead of time. And it's like, come on, just mix it up. I want all the flavors. All right, so Christy says dressing. Jen, you're going to Cincinnati. All right, good. I hope you have a safe trip, traveling 75 northbound. Again, we'll talk about that regional forecast here in a second. But you will begin to see improving conditions, I think, even before us. As you travel north, you'll run into the drier air, so you'll see sunnier skies a little bit sooner. Pat says, I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Pat, I hope you and your family have a great Thanksgiving as well. Good morning, Barb, and happy Thanksgiving to you. Let's see. Morristown. Good morning. Good morning, Morristown. Got some folks over there, home of the National Weather Service. Did you know that? National Weather Service? If you're not from Morristown, maybe you don't know where our National Weather Service is. Big shout out to the National Weather Service this morning. They do such a great job, and they work tirelessly day in and day out, providing us extra weather information, the watches, the warnings, the advisories. Yeah, they do a lot. All right, so Tarina says, my favorite dishes are my mother's homemade stuffing along with her homemade cherry cheesecake. You had me at cheesecake. Cheesecake is probably one of my favorite things. I've never liked cake, and so growing up, my mom always made me a pie or got me a pie or cheesecake for my birthdays. Of course, we had a birthday cake because when you had birthday parties, of course, all the kids want birthday cake. But yeah, I don't really do chocolate very much, and I don't really like cake. I'll eat it if it's in front of me, but I'm not a big frosting guy. Although if it's cream cheese frosting, which is, I think, why I like cheesecake, because there's so much cream cheese in cheesecake. Good morning, Julie. Tammy, thanks for the pictures as always. Remember, you can always post photos to the Witcher's Pictures link on the East Tennessee Weather app. Let's see. So Christy's going to be shopping online. So Christy's dressing and shopping online. Christy, thanks for playing along here this morning. Becky says sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. I mean, they're so good. Especially if you add the brown sugar, the butter, the cinnamon, all the things to make like sweet potato pie. Let's see. Anybody do tomato pie for Thanksgiving? That's what I should have made for my family, is tomato pie. It's such a southern thing, and I love tomato pie. There's a couple places in town. Anybody know of a good place in town to grab some tomato pie? Shirley says my mom's favorite is, or my favorite I should say, is my mom's sweet potato casserole. Nice, sweet potato casserole. Homemade dressing. Let's see, Tammy says homemade dressing. Homemade dressing patties. Oh, let me read this correctly. Homemade dressing patties. Oh, that's a good idea. Never thought about doing that. They used to do that. Now my double sister-in-law makes it. So what do you do, Tammy? Do you just take the dressing, pat it up like to a hamburger style, and then fry it? Is that what you do? That sounds amazing. Banana pudding. Kimberly says banana pudding. Banana pudding's awfully good as well. You're making me hungry. Good morning, John. Stuffing. Tina says stuffing from the bird. So you actually do stuff the bird. You don't do the dressing on the side. I mean, either way, you know what? So let me ask you this question. If we do turkey and stuffing for Thanksgiving, what do we do for Christmas? Do you do the same thing? Are we doing turkey stuffing and all the same thing back to back for 2 holidays, or do we change it up? We used to always do the same growing up. We used to always do turkey and stuffing for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then over the years, sometimes we do a nice, awesome like roast for Christmas. In the years past, my wife and I have done roasts. We've done crab legs. Anybody have any traditions for Christmas or Thanksgiving that you have to have on the table that you do every year? You know, yesterday after we got done eating and cleaning up the kitchen and, of course, eating some more and cleaning up more, because remember, there's 15 people here. We sat down and played some fun games as a family. I think that's one of my things I like about Thanksgiving is you get full, you hang out, you relax with family, and playing games. We are big game people. We love to play games. Now, we don't do it all the time, but I love to get a group of people together to play games. So we played, I don't remember what they were called because they weren't my games. My brother-in-law brought them, but it's kind of like Pictionary, but you draw a picture, you look at a card and figure out a word, and then you draw that word. And then you pass that to the next person, and the next person has to figure out what you drew. And then they have to draw it. And then they pass it to the next person. They have to figure out what that, so it's kind of like the telephone thing. So when at the end, you're like, that doesn't even look like what the word was. So we also played telephone yesterday as well. So Barbara says, good morning. We like to change things up. Chicken and dumplings for Christmas and a ham, says Dawn. Prime rib. There you go, Tina. Prime rib for Christmas. That sounds amazing. Are we not like just making ourselves hungry? Let's see. Betty says we love homemade dressing. Betty, are the kids in town yet? What did you say they were coming today or tomorrow? I'm friends with Betty. I'm friends with her with her daughter and son-in-law, so who live in Breckenridge, Colorado. So when we went out to Colorado, I used to ski with Bill quite a bit. All right, so Barb says she changes it up. Tarina says, yeah, I either get cheesecake or pumpkin pie for my birthday instead of cake too. Pumpkin pie for your birthday? Tarina, when's your birthday? Is it like this time of the year? Because otherwise, my birthday's in May, so I think it'd be kind of weird to have pumpkin pie in May. But ham for Christmas, prime rib for Christmas, says Christy. Tammy says, homemade cornbread, onions, cream of chicken soup, and a few other ingredients, and you bake it all together. That's one thing we didn't make yesterday, and I wanted to. I told my wife I wanted to. Cornbread. I wanted some cornbread. Ham for Christmas, says Kimberly. Julia says, good morning, have a blessed day. You too as well. Barb says, when my boys were young, they're grown up now and married, we played Monopoly. We play it all the time. We play it on a timer. That's probably the best way to play Monopoly is on a timer. You can still play Monopoly with your kids, Barbara, due to the fact that I think there's an app, that Monopoly app. I think it's free, and it's kind of like the Words with Friends game that you can play, where you can play through each other's phones. Nobody has to be in the same town or house or anything. So I've heard it's pretty fun. All right, play left, right. Oh yeah, we play left, right, center. Okay, so Tina, you play left, right, center. What do you play with? Are we playing with money? Because we played that game the other day too. And we were playing with the little tokens that comes with the game. But I was like, it just doesn't have the same effect unless you're playing for it could be quarters or dollar bills. It's always more fun. Not that I'm a betting guy. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that you're a little bit more invested into the game. Although it's such a crapshoot. It's such a game of luck because there's so many times that you've been out and then all of a sudden you win the game. Let's see. We've got a picnic shoulder. Tammy says a picnic shoulder. Good morning, Edwin. I sure hope you have a great Thanksgiving Eve as well. Kimberly says my birthday is on Christmas. It is? How was that growing up? Was that did your birthday get overshadowed or did you get double the presents? Or did you just kind of get, did you kind of get underplayed because of Christmas, so you didn't get as many presents, is what I was trying to say. My mom's birthday is 2 days after Christmas, and so we always try to make it a special thing for her birthday because it is so close to Christmas that we try to do Christmas on Christmas and her birthday on her birthday. Katie says they play for bragging rights. That's okay. You use quarters and dollars playing left, right, center, Tina. Nice. See, I think you're just more invested. It's kind of like playing, if you ever do any of the brackets for March Madness. I'm not a basketball player watcher, but if you watch March Madness, and if you actually fill out a bracket, you're definitely more invested into watching the games. Happy Thanksgiving to David and everybody joining from Madisonville here this morning. So nobody's going to be really traveling, it doesn't sound like. We've got some food on our minds. Are we cooking all day today? Or are we wait until tomorrow to cook? Or have you already started cooking? Have you thawed out the turkey? Is that all thawed and ready to go? My brother-in-law, I've never had a brine turkey. My sister-in-law brined the turkey in salt. Never have had that in my entire life before, but I don't think my dad ever did that. He just used to baste it as it was cooking. Hands down, probably one of the juiciest, most tender turkeys I've ever had. Definitely was not like a Christmas vacation turkey where just kind of blows up. Well, I appreciate the conversation this morning. It's always fun chatting with everybody. Kind of finding out what our traditions are. What do you do? One thing that we did around the table last night, and I actually got a little teary-eyed, which I'm a sensitive guy, but I don't know why I did, but we went around the table. Everyone said something that they're thankful for. And so there's 15 of us. There's, what do we have? 7 kids, 8 adults. And it's cute to watch the kids go through. Sometimes they're like, I'm thankful for my food in front of me, which obviously we're super thankful for. I'm thankful for a roof over my head. Absolutely. Let's see, what were some of the funny ones? Can't remember some of the funny ones, but anyways, my point to the story is one thing that I'm thankful for, super thankful for this year, is the fact that I've been able to start this business. I've been able to jump into being an entrepreneur, which is something I've wanted to do my entire life. I've always wanted to actually open up a sandwich shop. I don't know why, I just love sandwiches, but I'm super thankful for the support from my family and my wife to be able to get started. with this business and trying to build something. You know, so East Tennessee weather, it's not an easy venture to jump into to do weather all the time. And for a bigger area than I covered before. But one thing I really want is I want East Tennessee to have a one-stop shop for all the weather information. That's why I've made it as clean and easy to find the information through the app and the website as possible. But I'm just super thankful for the support from my family. It has been a lot of work to get to where I'm at today, and they have been very, very patient. There was a couple times my wife's like, are we ever going to get our dad back? Because I was just so busy trying to get this infrastructure up and running. There's so many computers going on around here. Got this studio that's been built by Mike Stevens Homes, but of course I laid the floors and I painted and I hung up all the lights, and so it's been a busy to get started with this venture. But here we are, and if you love what I do, I'd love for you to pass along the word to all your friends and family. Remember, your family can take the app back home with them because it GPSs their location, and then they can stay on top of the weather here in East Tennessee because obviously we stay here in East Tennessee. All right, Dawn says she started cooking tonight and lots of prep work today, and still some odds and ends to pick up at the store. You know what? I'll tell you one of my biggest pet peeves. One of my biggest pet peeves is going to the grocery store on Thanksgiving. I'm sorry if you do it. That's just my thing. I try to avoid it as with all costs due to the fact that I just think it's Thanksgiving Day. I think the stores should be shut down on Thanksgiving Day. Let's close everything down at least for the first part of the day. Let folks go home and be with their family members and their friends, or just have some alone time if that's if you don't have any family or friends in town. But that's one of my things. But we went to the grocery store like 3 or 4 times yesterday, so I get it. All of a sudden, we don't have any cinnamon, we don't have ice, we don't have any butter left. What are we doing? Trying to prepare all this awesome food. So Barbara says she's going to be cooking it all day today, smoking a turkey and some ribs. That sounds amazing. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well, Barb. Tina, or Barbara, I think you like to go by Barbara, not Barb, so I apologize. My mom's name is Barbara too, and she likes to go by Barbara, but we call her Barb and Mom. Or Nana. Making pumpkin pie and pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. That sounds amazing. I'm actually picking up some cupcakes today from a friend's coworker anyways, and she makes apparently some amazing, well, I shouldn't say apparently, I've already had one, some amazing cupcakes. So we're going to pick some of those up today. Deep fried turkey, says Katie, tomorrow, but we are baking desserts tonight. Do you love being in the kitchen? Do you love this time of the year? Do you love baking? Do you like everybody in the kitchen? All the cooks in the kitchen, everyone kind of doing something. Someone's rolling the dough. Someone's getting the cranberries ready. Somebody's cooking the turkey. Somebody's watching the kids and playing with the kids so they stay out of the kitchen. It's a lot, but traditions are my favorite. I love traditions, and so it's nice to have some traditions. Katie, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Christy, I appreciate that. Thankful that I've started this channel. Good morning, Frank and Barbara again. Amen to you. Chantal watching Winter Storm, driving down now on Sunday, still home for the week. All right, well, tell them I said hi and tell them to shoot me a text message, Betty. I'd love to see them. I haven't seen them for a while. All right, Kimberly, you guys are so sweet. So my sister-in-law and I spent the night with my 88-year-old mother, says Tammy. My mother-in-law cooks some tonight and then cooks some tomorrow. It's just nice. If you can get together with your family, if you have kids and they can come to town, if you have aunts and uncles or cousins and they can come to town and get together, there's just something about this season. Yes, it is stressful for sure, but it's just nice to be with family. Listen, we live in East Tennessee. We don't have any family here. My family's in Colorado. My wife's family's in Texas and New Jersey and Colorado. And so, it's hard to get everybody together all the time. I don't see my brothers very often. I see them about every 2 or 3 years, which is unfortunate. But such is the case when you all live across the country. So be thankful for people that can travel. I think we should be thankful for some nice weather for traveling today and tomorrow, improving conditions for travelers across the country, so no major storm. And just be thankful for the things that we have in our lives. Sometimes we want so much, and we want it so instantaneous now, don't we? Through Amazon and our cell phones. Everything's so instantaneous these days. Well, I'm working towards that as well, and that's why I provided weather when you want it, so it's instantaneous for you. I think sometimes we just need to sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and just be thankful for the things that we have in life, whether it be the small things or the big things, new jobs or no jobs. So it doesn't matter. There's always something around the corner that's going to be better. And so I just think that we need to be thankful for each other, our community. We live in a great community. I'm thankful for you. super thankful for you because you are supporting me and appreciating what I'm doing, not just for the years past and all the years that I worked in the local TV, but here now. And so I'm super thankful for you as well this morning. So thank you very much. All right, so kind of wrap things up. Tammy, thank you. Let's see, my mother-in-law, she always made cherry yum yum. So this year I'm making it for my kids to bring back the memories. Ooh. If you have any great recipes, throw them in the chat. I think folks would love to see your recipes so we can share them with each other. It's always about, when you have these traditions and these traditional foods or dishes that, our parents or grandparents cooked, it's nice to share those, if it's not a secret, with everybody else. All right, well, we sure hope you have a wonderful and safe day. Remember, we have some low-grade clouds, some fog out there this morning. Anybody traveling across? Oh, I didn't do the regional forecast. Let me just show you. I think well, either way, improving conditions across the region. So if you are traveling, just give yourself some patience. If you're traveling east, remember you're chasing the cold front, you're chasing the clouds and the rain. Most of the rain's moving on out. If you're staying here locally, low-grade clouds, some fog, some mist throughout the day, but improving later on this afternoon. And when you look at your 3-day forecast, nice weather is on the way, where we'll continue to see improving weather conditions, some sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful Thanksgiving. It takes a nice little walk outside or throw the football or just hang out and watch football and the parade tomorrow morning. Friday is going to be great. Saturday, increasing the clouds late in the day as a weak little disturbance swings to our south on Sunday, but it should stay dry for the next several days. All right, you guys are amazing. I do appreciate you for everything that you do for me and every single day. So thank you very, very much. I'm going to send you back to the 24-hour weather channel if you want to watch more weather. Coming up next on the Weather Channel, let's see, I do have another forecast coming up. We'll start you off with your satellite and radar loop as I send you back to the 24-hour channel. This is East Tennessee Weather, my friends. I'm meteorologist Mike Witcher, and it's weather when you want it. Have a great day and travel safe.
You're watching East Tennessee weather. Weather when you want it.
Good morning. Have a great day, everybody. Busy travel day ahead of us today. Now, while we're not going to see the rain that we saw yesterday, which was beneficial, we're going to stay overcast gray with a little bit of mist, maybe some drizzle out there. That should be about the extent of it. Dry air settles on in. That's going to help to clear the skies. That's going to leave us with plenty of sunshine just in time for Thanksgiving Day. And it looks like it's going to be nice, quiet, and mostly sunny for the upcoming weekend, although we will see increasing clouds late Saturday into our Sunday. So this morning we start off with temps in the mid to upper 40s, a few pockets of low 50s, a couple of 30s across the plateau as well. But all in all, temperatures just won't fluctuate a whole lot. We're not going to see the sunshine, so therefore it's not going to warm us up. We will have a little bit of a breeze. We talked about this yesterday. Post-frontal wind. The wind's going to be coming out of the northwest, and that's going to make it feel chillier for sure. So make sure everyone's got the jackets as you travel out and about here, if you're staying here locally or traveling regionally or even nationally as well. So we sure hope you have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving and do travel safely. I do have more on that regional travel forecast. We've got that coming up here in just a few minutes. Also have a lot of national and regional automation that's going on. So make sure you stay tuned. Got a lot more coming up here in just a short while. Other than that, clearing skies as we get closer to sundown tonight. The point of this map is to show you the fact that we're just not looking at much rain. It's more going to be in the form of some drizzle, and that's really going to be about it here today. Temperatures will only be in the 40s, a few pockets of low 50s, and that's the way it's going to trend into the evening as well. It's going to be colder tomorrow morning as the skies continue to clear, so a chilly start to our Thanksgiving day, but pleasant weather on the way. Details with your 3-day forecast in just about 5.5 minutes. So let's go ahead and pick up our timeline tonight. The skies will gradually clear. That's going to leave us with clear skies as we get started on our Thanksgiving Day. And that's also going to translate into some chillier temperatures. Look at these morning lows. We'll be down into the low mid 30s. And so some frost will be forming for sure. Maybe even a little bit of fog around parts of the rivers and lakes around town. So maybe some steam fog. That'd be pretty cool. Other than that, through the day on Thanksgiving Day, sunshine is on the way and it will gradually warm back into the 50s. So we should be closer to those seasonal averages. We're going to continue that trend on into our Friday and Saturday. We'll see increasing clouds throughout the day on Saturday and more so into Sunday. But other than that, looks like it's going to be quiet and dry. Perfect shopping weather if you're going to be doing that here this weekend. Of course, we're talking a big picture weather pattern for those of you that are traveling. I've got more on that in just a moment. recap those weather headlines, talk about that regional travel forecast that's coming up here right now. So overcast, drizzle, a little bit of mist, maybe a quick little passing shower, but dry air is going to settle on in. As this new air mass comes on in, that means that, well, it's going to produce a little bit of a wind. And so it is going to be breezy, chilly, but rebounding nicely just in time for Thanksgiving Day. There goes our storm system off across the eastern seaboard. Low-grade clouds hanging out with us here locally, but improving conditions. So if you are traveling today, the further west you are traveling to, the more sunshine you'll see. The further east you're traveling or staying here locally, well, we're just not going to see a ton of sunshine throughout most of the day. A weak cold front approaches the area that just kind of fizzles on out. What you're looking at down across the southern screen is an upper level disturbance that's going to be swinging its way on in. That's going to increase the clouds on Saturday, but it's not going to produce a whole lot of rainfall. So if you have travel plans tomorrow, we will continue, or even into Friday, we may see a couple of light stray showers. That should be about the extent of it. Going to keep it dry. Going about a 20% today. That's just to let you know that there's going to be moisture in the air. Not rain per se, but maybe drizzle and mostly some mist. 7-day rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center. Not much in the way of rain over the next 7 days, so we're going to be staying on the dry side. When you look at your temperature trend, average high is 58 degrees. We're going to be on the cooler side today, gradually warming back to those seasonal averages just in time for that busy shopping weekend of the season. The first weekend to get out and do some shopping for the holiday season. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, we're going to bring it back to the local level, talk about extended rainfall chances as well. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with me.